Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to ParksCenter. My name's Rob, and weird, wacky things are happening again. I apologize, but it's a fun time. It's great. We're good. We're good. Tonight, we got a great panel with us. Allison is here. Hi, Allison.
Good evening, everyone. Hi.
Jill.
Hello.
Eric Morton. Muted. God.
Unmute.
Noob.
I don't have a catchphrase.
Yay!
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up at ParksCenter time. Let's go.
There it is,
I
and Mr. Pete Carney.
Sivako. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, man. From the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is ParksCenter.
Yes, it is. So we got some stuff going on this week that we want to talk to you guys about. That's what we do, right? So we've got a lot of sneak peeks happen, right? So they came at us with like this myriad of sneak peeks, including we got the Star Wars Hotel, we got some construction from the Star Wars Hotel. That's always nice to see construction happening, right? We got this testing for the Guardians coaster, which is very exciting. And then we've got some stuff from Space 220. Like, I thought they had kind of abandoned this thing, and here it is. It's ready. It's finally ready. We're excited. We're ready to go. And then the Spider-Man ride in California for a park that's not open. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on. I'm excited about all these things. Allison, which one are you most excited about?
The Guardians coaster. I'm not even a Marvel person, nor am I a Star Wars person, but that coaster looks amazing. Last week, I was like, these ride vehicles make it look like a coaster, but a dark ride at the same time. And the video that they have of these ride vehicles spinning around and like stopping at strange angles so they could focus on different things make me think this is not only going to be a dark ride, but it's possible that it might change. That your experience may change each time you ride it, where your attention might be focused on something different. And so they might have kind of like how Tower of Terror has multiple ride sequences. This might also have that kind of multiple ride experience with it. And that's really cool. I don't think there's ever been a coaster like that. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. Jill, what are you thinking? What do you like?
I mean, I agree. The thing I'm most excited for is the Guardian, based on what they showed us anyway, is the Guardians coaster. The Star Wars Hotel, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one. Maybe this is a hot take. I was pretty underwhelmed by what they showed us. First of all, those rooms look incredibly tiny. Like, literally, it's like you're sleeping in a cruise ship or on a sleeper train car where, like, they're packing you into a little cavity. It reminds me of, like, and maybe this is front of mind because Katie Sackhoff was on The Mandalorian last week, but Battlestar Galactica, when they would, like, show them, like, climbing into their bunks in the ship. Which, like, I get, it's supposed to be a starship. It's supposed to be a spaceship that you're sleeping on. But at the same time, you're paying, like, $1,000 a night. And I just, more than that, maybe. And I was pretty shocked at how little space there appears to be in that room. Like, look at it. There's nothing else in there but the bed. You've got the two little bunks in the wall, which don't even look like they're quite big enough for an adult to fit in. The bed, and then there's a TV at the windows, it looks cool.
How about the backyard pool ladder to get into the bunk bed?
Yeah. Also, like, I mean, we saw what happened when the Riviera opened and the Murphy bed fell on top of that woman and she got trapped in it. I smell something else like that coming with that ladder, and like it smacks of lawsuit waiting to happen. I don't know.
I feel like I should say something like, not enough space, it's Star Wars. No, nothing. Okay, so Eric.
Bad joke of the night.
I want to know what comes with this thing. They've been very vague. Oh.
Sorry, Eric, I need to get that out of the way. What's up, man?
Okay. No, they've been a little vague about how rich the amenities are going to be on this in this hotel, but that's the standard room, and 5 people in a standard room is $7,200. I don't know if that's for 2 nights or 3 nights, But that's for 5 people. Show the picture of the room again. Where are these people? Where are 5 people going to... Are they Ewoks? Where are they putting 5 people in this thing? I don't understand.
I'm a small human being, but even those bunk beds, I don't think I could fit. Like, I think I'd be too tall for those bunk beds.
Eric, you don't think
I'm 5'3".
You don't think you and 4 other people your size could fit in that room, Eric? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, we could fit there, but it better be in 0 gravity where we can like attach our sleeping bags to the wall like on the International Space Station. Because now on a bed, we can't fit 5 people in there.
Let's snuggle up and do some Star Wars, man. I'm in. If you want to split a room, let's do it. Pete, Mr. Pete Carney from Pete Carney Central down there. What's going on? What do you like the best out of all these offerings? What do you hate? What's going on?
Well, I'm a thrill ride person, so I'll jump on the bandwagon that everyone else has jumped on with the new Cosmic Rewind. I'm excited for this coaster. I'm excited for the launch backwards. I'm excited for the vehicles to move. My only fear, and I've seen this a few people talk about this now, is I just hope it's not too much stop and go for show scenes. My only beef with Gringotts over Universal is that I think there's too much stopping for show scenes. So I hope that this is more fluid. But it looks very exciting, so I'm most excited about that. Least excited, just like we were just talking about that Starcruiser looks awful. I'd rather stay at top. Honestly, that room looks tight. Like, you couldn't fit me and Eric in that room, just hanging out. Forget if we added Tom and Axel and Rob. We just keep piling people in. It's gonna be how many people can you fit in this room? It's kind of embarrassing. Also on the West Coast, those Spider-Man ride vehicles look pretty cool. I hope that is pretty neat. I liked them lowering the plane in and all that other stuff. It was nice to get an excitement or a hype video out of Disney right now with all the kind of blah, terrible news. So it is nice to be like, oh, at least these projects are still coming down the pipe. We're not losing. Disney's not just giving up on the parks. And obviously these were already in motion pre-COVID, but it was nice to get a little bit of excitement back in our Disney lives, especially following those fireworks for Project Nugget the other night. That was exciting too. It was. I got a little. I mean, obviously, I didn't show emotion, but I felt moved at fireworks again. It had been so long. I forgot the emotion that brought, and it was nice. It was like that sign of hope. It was seeing that light at the end of the tunnel and hoping we get there soon.
Okay, so no one said Space 220. What's up?
I was just thinking that.
You
can't tell anything from the rendering.
Yeah, based on the Galactic Starcruiser, how big is this restaurant going to be? Because now I'm assuming all space are tiny, and I need to spread my wings. And in a restaurant, I need space. Our masks are off. I need space. I need space.
You can't really tell anything from what they released, right? It looks like you're coming in to land on Microsoft Flight Simulator. It doesn't look like you're 220 miles in the air. It looks like you're on final approach to JFK. I don't know. It's just to me.
I love the concept of this thing.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're
Flight Simulator.
Sorry, Allison. What's up?
I love the concept, but I'm not. I feel like it won't be my top thing that I'm most excited about until I see a menu and what I can get excited about eating.
What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's my problem with the restaurant over at the Seas. Is it's really cool to dine next to fish, but I just wish they had a better menu. It's just I think their menu is so underwhelming.
It's stuck in 1996.
I hope their food is banging and they have a great menu. I don't want space. I don't want extra ice cream and be like, oh, you're in space. I want some banging good food. They're going to charge you for it.
Yeah, they're totally, and they do a Coral Reef. It's not good food, but they charge you out the wazoo for it because you've got this theme thing. It strikes me, though, that the 3 sit-down restaurants in Future World are now going to be the same 3 options you could choose at the end of Horizons.
Ah, deep cut.
Wow, that's a great observation.
Mic drop. Oh. Yep.
I like
that's really cool. So yeah, you don't have to have good food if you get to play around in there, right? Isn't that the way it usually works? That's why there's an animatronic in Cosmic Rays.
I hope they have a good bar.
Yeah, well.
That reminds me, I have to message Tom and make sure I'm on that debut Try Everything squad.
Okay, yeah, get on that right away. Do you want us to wait for you, or are you good to go?
Those are my favorite days.
Can we move on to the next one then?
As long as we're not talking about humanity.
Phew. Man, you know what? Bad news. So they've got a lot of great things in the works, as we've talked about here. One of them is this concept art that we got for the Tiana overlay. I actually heard somebody talking about that when I was in the park last week. The splash mountain was down, and they're walking by, and the little kid said, "What's going on over there?" And the dad said, "Oh, they took that down so they can put in Tiana," and they kept walking. So. Splash Mountain's still kicking, still around, but Josh D'Amaro is saying that there's going to be a lot more inclusion projects, and I love the fact that it's been added to the list here to the 4 pre-existing keys. So you got safety, courtesy, show, efficiency, and inclusion. I think one of the things that struck me the last time that that we were in the parks was looking around at all the things that probably could be replaced. As we go around, and I know I'm going to throw it to Jill because I feel like you've got some opinions on this one.
Oh dear. Prepare to mod the chat. Just not because of anything I really plan to say, but because this is the topic that flips people out the most, especially now that the election's over. I appreciate that inclusion has been added as a cast member key. It's tough because and again, like this is the debate we all have all the time, is we don't want Disney to change. Whether it's getting rid of a ride because, like the Great Movie, like they didn't get rid of the Great Movie ride because it was offensive to anyone. They got rid of the Great Movie ride because they thought it wasn't, enough IP driven and whatever. And they wanted to put Runaway Railway in there for whatever insane reason. But we never want Disney to change. And I think what frustrates me is that when being more inclusive is the reason Disney changes, people flip out in a different way. I'm not saying, of course they flipped out about Great Movie Ride and people are still talking about it, but they flip out in a different way when Disney says we're going to change a ride about inclusion. And I just think people ought to stop and think about that. Like, why are you flipping out that Disney wants to be more inclusive of other people? And you can argue that it is or isn't a problem, but if you don't think it's a problem, then you're not the person who's not being included. And if you were the person not being included, you might feel differently. That is all. I'm done.
Hey, you know what, Eric? You should follow that up.
All right. Inclusion is a good thing, and it's a positive thing that they have included in their keys, which are most companies call like a core value. So I want them to embrace inclusion as a core value, and I want their actions to reflect that, but I don't want their inclusion to be a pretense for going cheap on things. So take out something and retheme it to something more inclusive, as opposed to look at all the new projects that are going on. They don't necessarily reflect inclusion, or to me anyway. So if it's just a pretense to take old things and kind of slap a cheap overlay on them and say, look at us, we're more inclusive, I don't support that. I want them to walk the walk of inclusion, and me patronizing people is not inclusive.
Allison, Pete, anything before we move on?
I respect the buzzer.
I agree.
There he is. All right. Well, one of the other things that we had come down the pike was that there was the promise of the return of entertainment. So we've lost a lot of entertainment, right? So basically, Frozen, that's the Frozen sing-along is still there. But other than that, we lost a ton. We lost Festival of the Lion King, Beauty and the Beast live on stage, and the list goes on. So Josh D'Amaro has said that the canceled shows and entertainment will be coming back. They were cut down indefinitely, so we still don't know when they will be coming back. For me, when I'm looking at this, I mean, there are less spaces to sit people in the theaters, so you cannot use that to fill up, like to take out a lot of the capacity, like to be people eaters as much as they used to be. Paying these prices, I mean, paying the staff during all these things is expensive. We as fans would love for them to do that, but Did they cut too much entertainment? I think we all feel like they did, that they could have had a few more of them on there. I know that it's COVID, and so there are a lot of expenses and there are a lot of losses, and we'll talk about the losses later. But at the same time, they have not like reduced my ticket price, and they have not reduced my annual pass. They have not reduced the hotels. I mean, other than a discount, which they normally would do anyway. So I feel like they're still siphoning a lot of money off of us. Maybe not enough people. So I mean, I'm gonna open this up to you guys, but I mean, I feel like. Go ahead.
I had a very awkward conversation the other day. We were at Epcot. I was with a friend who invited me to go to Epcot with her, and she had 2 friends in town. And I had thought, because she said, "Oh, I knew them from my CP." I said, "Oh, very cool." And then we got into this conversation about, is Disney worth the money right now? And I went on this like this ridiculous diatribe about how I don't get how Disney's charging the same amount. You don't have entertainment, you don't have character meet and greets, you don't have the lines, the magic is gone. There's no walking around entertainment. It just feels that Disney's operating their parks at 50% of the magic, if that, and yet prices are still 100% the same. So I was like, I tell people, hey, if you want to come experience Disney less crowded, or you want to wait less, or you want to see what this is like, or you just miss Disney and you're a Disney addict, come on down, sure. Especially if you have like an annual pass or you're getting something at a discount. But I was like, if this is your first time coming to Disney and you're paying full price, you're out of your damn mind. Like, who would do that? And then as I'm saying this, I go on for about 15 minutes, and I find out the 2 people that were there, it was their first time, or not the one friend, but the 2 friends they brought had paid full price, and this was their first time at Disney. And I just said that basically it was very, very embarrassing. But you're right. Like, so I think entertainment coming back is a very big deal. We've talked about it when they took it away on this show about how big of a deal it is. It's what separates Disney from all other theme parks. To me, you're just another Six Flags, or you could be a park that tries, like a SeaWorld or a Universal. But Disney is all about that magic and the memories and that feel-good vibe. Like when you are watching, and even if you're not a part of it, like watching a child interact with a citizen of Hollywood, or the anything that's going on that street, or the Dapper Dans, in any theme park, is such a big deal. And for that to be away is not Disney to me. I don't want Disney to turn into a park with rides. It needs to be the total package. I'm sorry I went off again here, but you're right about those ticket prices. It really bothers me. So I think and I already talked about my entertainment thoughts a few weeks ago. So I think you made a good point about the pricing, and I'm happy it's coming back. But we will see. I feel like you could say entertainment's coming back, and like Eric made a good point in the last topic, I don't want it to be a cheap version of entertainment. I want it to be a Disney version of entertainment. I don't know. I hope they do the right thing.
I think
sorry I took up so much.
No, it's okay. I think we can go extra innings on this one if somebody else wants to say something. I think
muted.
You're mute. Jill, are you on mute?
Look, I did the thing. While Pete was talking, I thought of so many individual moments that I have memories of from Walt Disney Entertainment, like Walt Disney World Entertainment, whether it's Citizens of Hollywood or Finding Nemo the musical. I have so many specific memories that bring smiles to my face every time I think of them, solely because of the entertainment aspect. And so to me, that proves Pete's point that like I wasn't even trying, and him talking just brought those memories like to front of mind and made me remember things that I love so much about Walt Disney World.
It also seemed like a really vague statement. It was like, it wasn't even a full sentence, like a full quote. It was just like, Josh tomorrow says entertainment will be back. Oh, thanks, guys. I mean, I feel like it's something he could have elaborated on a little bit. Maybe he did, and we just haven't seen that. I don't know, but just like, hey, entertainment will be back. I mean, well, thanks. In what form?
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same quality
Eric,
we expect? I don't know.
Yes, this smacked of somebody who is just like trying to deflect backlash for having just slashed entertainment and broken everyone's hearts, and it's we're going to be breaking some of the back, like just doing damage control, and that's why there's no specifics, because they didn't have a plan before he said this.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when they said, "Hey, we're going to do a Mary Poppins something or other. I don't know. It's going to be Mary Poppins. You'll love it." And then they're like, "Oh, we had to cancel it. Oh, well." Yeah, not a lot of information. Absolutely true. Thank you, TA, for the $4.99. Moving to Orlando this spring to escape state taxes. Looking forward to moving to Winter Garden area or Dr. Phillips and getting an annual pass.
Welcome.
Next
we
year.
shall have celebratory beverages.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for the super chat.
It's Pete's job to welcome everyone who moves to Florida with he brings them like a glass of champagne and a hot towel.
Did that happen?
You ever notice what my title is on Slack? This is just fun for you guys. So we have a company Slack channel. Has anyone ever noticed the title I gave myself? I am the director of first impressions.
First impressions, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, how about that? You're in charge of the of all the introductions from now on out.
Yeah. These guys.
So Pete talked a little bit about it earlier. Fireworks. So there were some fireworks testing this past weekend, or I guess Monday night. There is talk of this being part of Project Nugget, the 50th anniversary fireworks show, that they'd be testing that. They did put out a little announcement to the local people saying, "Hey, there's going to be some fireworks," and it says that it's a routine fireworks testing. So I'm not really 100% sure that this isn't, mostly just hey, we've got to test these fireworks because they haven't been shot off in forever and maybe we have to, or was this really kind of just to see what they could do for the new entertainment? And Eric, I want to throw it to you because you see this from your back porch, don't you?
Yeah, it was a good time. That's one of the funniest live streams I've seen was Tom in pitch black live streaming from the sidewalk outside of my house, where he's just cracking jokes. There wasn't a whole lot to do, so it's basically Tom, Pete, and Axel riffing for an hour. But it's cool to see the fireworks. I'll be happy to have them start up one of these days. But it's cool to at least get a little taste. It's been obviously many months. Hope they get it together. It's important to me, to us, to have them nearby. So hopefully they start up soon.
So do you guys think this was part of Project Nugget? Or we are speculating pretty hard when we say that, aren't we?
No, it said Project Nugget.
What else would they be testing for? They just debuted Happily Ever After. So if they're testing something, it's for a special occasion. 50th anniversary is literally about 9 months, 10 months away. And this is about the time they did it for Harmonious 2 and other past fireworks shows. They start shooting off those shells around that 9 to 12 month mark. And again, they weren't testing the whole show. These are different concepts. And also, there were new fireworks in there. If you look at any of the videos on our website at wwnt.com, there are new stuff and effects that were taking place in those fireworks in that shell test. So this is exciting. And to be honest, I really miss Happily Ever After, so I hope they bring back fireworks a little bit before October. But it'd be really cool to have, say, 3-4 months of Happily, and then all of a sudden have a brand new fireworks show kick off. It's going to be a very exciting time of year, I think, next summer, next fall. Hopefully, if all these vaccines get fast-tracked and we can go back to some sort of normalcy. Like we talked about last week, I think it's going to take about a year to go back to, any kind of non-masked society. But, yeah, this is exciting times. These fireworks, I'm pumped about it, and I'm pumped to be friends with Eric Morton. What a location he has.
By the way, just a quick... What's
Sorry,
that,
go ahead, Eric. I said, Pete just made me panic at the idea we might...
Yeah, they were firing off perimeter fireworks, so they weren't testing run-of-the-mill stuff. They were, this will be something special.
Good.
They did close the back road behind Magic Kingdom 2 and adjacent to Magic Kingdom. So the road that takes you up along where the Neutron is, and then the little tiny road behind the Magic Kingdom, not the big loop that they built all the way around, was closed off the other night. So these were set up for perimeter fireworks, not just a standard testing site. It's gonna be really cool for the 50th, and I'm very excited that they are testing these. I'm excited that we're gonna have some kind of 50th celebration because I was getting worried for a while. I was getting a little worried.
Well, they painted the gates gold. What else do you want, man?
Honestly, I don't even notice it. I'd rather you would have kept one citizen of Hollywood than pay all those painters to update to rose gold on the cover. I don't care about the welcome and what color it is. I drive past it way above the Disney speed limit. Come on.
Why isn't that what the research folks ask you on their little iPads when you leave the park? Would you rather us spend money on this or this?
Right.
I had a Disney research person. Sorry, we're going to go long tonight. This is a funny story. I had a Disney research person come up to me as I was leaving Springs the other night, and she was like, "Can I ask you some questions about your night at Springs?" And I had an awful night. It was probably the worst night I've had at Springs ever. So I just told her, I was like, "Listen, you really want to ask me, you can remember this face any other night but tonight, because I am going to give you the worst responses you've ever had." And she's like, "Oh, really? Why?" And I was like, "Well," and I went on this, like, again, 10 minutes of nonsense. And I gave her, like, I wanted to give her a hug afterwards. I was like, "Thank you for letting me vent. I feel better already. Have a great night." But, yeah, those poor research people. Oh, man. Anyway.
Sometimes I seek them out intentionally when I have something I want. I like I want Disney to record
because we have Mr. Positivity. I don't want to do. I'm even mad at myself for telling that story right now. I don't want to say bad things.
All right, well, the chat has devolved into talking about Project Nugget into chicken nuggets, and so I think we need to move on and talk about park capacity. So I was there this past week, and I hadn't been there in a while. I was there this weekend, and honestly, I thought the crowds were fairly manageable. But again, I mean, there's still hour waits for just about everything when you get there. So you really have to pick and choose what you're going to stand in line for. The overflow because of the socially distanced queues is crazy. I know Jill and Jason were there a while ago, and like the lines almost intersected each other because of how long they were, and they were socially distanced. So like I think you said Haunted Mansion touched like Big Thunder. So
crossing the streams.
Right, exactly. So I mean, it's hard to imagine that they could actually create more capacity in the parks, isn't it, to take it from 25 to 35%, no matter how many plexiglass shields you staple into the back of Mickey and Minnie?
I think it's funny that Bob Chapek called plexiglass shields on the rides innovations in ride technology to be able to accommodate. Like, I don't know if you understand the definition of the word innovation, but that is not it. Like, it's just, oh my God.
And like, here's plexiglass.
Seriously. And I don't know. I feel like Rob, you were saying you were just there. You felt like the crowds were manageable. Whereas when I was there 6 weeks ago, I felt like the crowds were out of control. So like, and I know they've implemented more procedures since then to accommodate more people on the rides, but not that many more. So I
would agree with Jill. I think it's worse. Like if anyone's I don't know the pictures of people watching the projections on the castle. It looks like some of those pictures that came out of, like, right in the beginning of quarantine of everyone watching fireworks before they shut down the parks. There are mobs of people watching projections on the castle because, I mean, they're closing the Magic Kingdom early, and it's only dark for about an hour and a half before they close the Magic Kingdom. So if you want those true projections, man, speaking is hard, then people are gathered, and that's the scary part for me. I mean, ride times, they say 60. I think they're still exaggerating a lot of those wait times. So if you want a positive there, a 60-minute is probably really like 45. A 30 is probably like 15. But man, now like that they are bringing back some Christmas stuff again, which I love. But now people are starting to hoard together again. And down here in Florida, it is like COVID is like almost like people think it's gone. It really is crazy down here. And then you look at other states like New York. Like, I'm going back to New York next week, and, like, they are putting in more intense protocols, shutting down bars and restaurants at 10. You can't have gatherings of more than 10 people. Yeah. God forbid you have 12 people. 2 people can't come to Thanksgiving. Like, it is crazy up there. And down here, it's like, if you want to wear your mask, it's okay.
So that's a great point, Pete. Let me ask Allison, because of all of us, she's the one that hasn't been to the park yet. So let me ask you, when you see these videos, when you hear that they've upped capacity, what horrifying things are running through your mind?
That it's going to be forever before I get to go there because we're fully quarantined at home, and we're not going unless until there's like we are vaccinated, or like 90% of the people are vaccinated, or somehow we get the virus under control in this country, which just seems to elude us time and time again. So it's pretty jarring, but at the same time, because I'm fully locked down, I haven't been going anywhere. Like, I don't go to the grocery store. We get things delivered. So I haven't had to really even wear a mask consistently or go anywhere where there are people. So as far as I'm concerned, life is just as it is in all of the Netflix shows I am watching, where people can gather and go to concerts and go to sporting events, and moving about is normal. So I don't get the same kind of, I guess, anxiety, except that I'm not going to be able to go to this park for a long time.
Sorry. We'll send pictures. So let's move on to the next one because money. There's a bad thing. They're losing a lot of money. We know this because they're letting people go. They're closing things. This is the worst, according to this article on this rag that I read called WDWNT.com. This is the worst annual loss in 40 years, not since 1980. And then there was some bad stuff that happened in 96, 2001. But honestly, we just talked about it, that there's, that we've heard billions lost from the closing of Disneyland. All of these folks have lost their jobs. Is this a surprise at all, especially in 2020 where everything's been shut down? Are we shocked by this?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not surprising numbers. What's surprising is the stock price. Stock price has been pretty good.
So Eric Morton is telling us buy. No.
You might have missed your window.
Yeah, I don't. You're probably late.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no
I found it interesting that the stock prices jumped again when the vaccine announcement from Pfizer came out. As soon as Pfizer announced that they had a viable vaccine that was in preliminary tests effective with 90% of people, Disney stocks jumped like 10% that day.
It's like the stockbrokers spoke to my family only.
Yeah, I think this is probably not as bad as people expected it to be. I think that's the takeaway here, is not that there was no way Disney wasn't going to lose money with Disneyland being closed for 8 months now. But the fact that loss wasn't worse than it is we know. Poor Rob wants to go to Disneyland. The fact that loss wasn't any worse, I think, is as much a story as anything else here.
Now, do we give credit to the executives for figuring out a way? Do we give credit to them?
For what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it makes me take. No, I'm going to respond to that because it makes me take away credit for them. It's like, oh, this is the only hit you've taken, and you've eliminated all of those jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Your revenue went down. 8%, and 28,000 people's revenue went down 100%. Like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, right.
To be honest, if you would have put all those millions back from their salaries, it wouldn't have been as bad. But also, again, and I hate to be controversial here, but just as a stockholder, I'm kind of surprised they didn't take more of a hit. Like, if you think about how much money Disney makes every single day when the parks are open, and then they lost all those days when they were closed, and now also the parks are not, again, if you're at 35%, hypothetically, because I don't think they're really at 35, but that means you're losing 65% of your crowd, quote unquote. So that's a lot of money being lost, and the people aren't there. They're not spending money as long. You have less capacity in your restaurants, which are big money makers, and your bars, which are big money makers. Like Hoop-De-Doo is closed. A lot of these big shows and dinner parties are closed. Hoop-De-Doo is running 3 shows a night at $60 plus a person every night. And that's just one little restaurant. So I'm surprised they didn't lose more, but man, they could have made more back, I think, if they would have done the right thing with those salaries. And also, they're also saving money. Like, fireworks every night was $100,000 a night in fireworks if you look at the 4 parks. There's no fireworks every night. So, they are saving money, I guess, here and there. But I'm surprised they didn't post bigger losses. That's what I thought, actually.
Well, and this was Disney as a whole, right? This was not just parks and resorts.
Yeah.
This was Disney as a whole.
Which, thank God for Disney Plus.
And all the movies,
without Disney Plus, yikes.
All those big blockbuster movies that were supposed to hit, like Mulan was supposed to be a big thing, Soul was supposed to be a big thing, Black Widow got moved to next year. There's a lot of money that they lost across the board. So I agree with you. It's amazing that they didn't lose more.
And it's weird because I feel like Mulan lacked Soul.
Pete, no. Just because your party flopped does not mean it was Mulan's fault. It's fine. We're all fine. So this is actually my favorite story of the night. I know we're running a little long, but again, I was just there this weekend. I leave on, I think, Sunday, Monday, and then this happens. They do kind of a Christmas overlay at the Figment ride. Journey into Imagination has these little. What I do?
Don't give Bob Chapek the idea that putting a sweater on Figment equals an overlay.
Nope, it's an overlay. I've already called it. It's too late. It's an overlay. Actually, I think that I think they missed an opportunity in trying to sell these things because I feel like Eric would have bought one of these and looked pretty darn sharp.
Yeah, although in one of the streams it looked like it was made of like velour. And I was like, "What is Figment about to get out of like a Hummer H2 at the Foxwoods or something?" Like, look at this guy; he's a gold paint. Like, I don't, but no, I think it looks pretty cool in these pictures, though. They could sell 1 million of them if they came out with them. I'm sure.
Well, and the other thing is that with this, it's like that. I think is impressive is they put it on every single remaining Figment animatronic. All of them, all 2 of them have this on it. It's crazy. How did they get that kind of money?
Though. Not the one that's standing in front of the refrigerator that's open.
I have friends in Orlando who went just to see this. Like, it worked. Like, I didn't, but people went to Epcot just to see Figment in a sweater. Like, to me, those pictures do enough justice. I don't have to go on the ride. But I guess if you get a few people out there who just need to see Figment wearing his holiday best, good job, Disney marketing team. It's like one of them shrunk a sweater and was like, what can we do with this? And it was like, you know who this would fit? There it is. There it is.
It was probably off of an animatronic they cut from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. That would have been
like,
Rocket
Raccoon's
Raccoon.
not going to use this.
I mean, it's Pete, you talked about it earlier. It is really neat that they're doing so many things for the holidays, especially with cutbacks in staffing and cutbacks across the board. So it is nice that they're doing this. But you're right. I mean, it says that the line spiked like 30 minutes immediately when people heard that Figment was wearing a sweater. You got to get in there and get your pics of Figment in a sweater, I guess. But I mean, I love the logo. I'm a huge fanboy of the old Epcot with the old logos, and I think that's kind of cool to see it actually working. So, if you guys don't want to fawn, let's look at it one more time. It's adorable. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Where is the plush Figment wearing the sweater too? Like,
Right?
I would buy that.
No, that's a good point too. I don't know. Next year, it'll be there next year.
It'll
It's got
totally
the
be there
building
next
on
year.
the bottom of it. Look at that.
Yeah, he's a sharp dressed man. That's quite the fit. So,
Donald Duck in it. No pants.
exactly.
Sorry.
So anyway, that's really all we got for tonight. But I did want to say a big thank you to our wigs, and like I keep doing every week, I keep pitching this over to Jill. Would you like to talk a little bit about wigs?
I would love to talk about wigs because wigs are the best.
Yay!
Wigs are our WWNT Interglobe Society members. You can join Wigs at patreon.com/WWNT, where you will get access to all kinds of exclusive content that is only available to our Wigs members, including post shows for this show and for WDW News Tonight. You will get all kinds of other goodies like Ride Rehab watches. You will be able to join our Wigs exclusive Discord channel where you can chat with fellow Wigs and with staff members. It comes with all kinds of good stuff, and it starts as little as $2 a month. So head to patreon.com/WDWNT to learn more and to join.
Awesome. Thank you guys, and thank you so much for joining us every Wednesday night. We really appreciate you coming in, watching it with us, talking with us, following in the chat. Thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you guys again real soon. Have a good week.
See Marco! Shout out to Ben in the chat.
Hi, Ben.
You're in the push show.
Hi, little Ben.
Where's Little Ben at?
No Mario, please.
That's a universal property.